Hello everybody. Hope you are having a good morning this morning on this. It is a very sunny Friday morning here in Massachusetts. We are away at the moment, and so this is a completely new setup. And I'm not gonna lie, I did have some technical difficulties before coming online. And anyway, we roll with the punches. So I hope that you can hear me and see me okay. Please let me know if you can. And if you can hear the music, if it's too loud, if it's too soft. Yeah, just let me know in the comments. And I want to welcome you today. Hi, Zimbira, good to see you. Yay, you can see and hear me okay. Good. Yeah, welcome to today's doodle session. This is one of our alphabet themed. Good, Lorna, thank you. Thank you. This session today is one of our alphabet themed doodle session. Hi, good morning. Morning, Kathy. Where are you guys all tuning in from? Evelina, good to see you from San Diego. Yay! It must be 7 o'clock in the morning there. Nice start to the day. So I have a friend here. Last week I had our doggy friends, and now I have a kitty cat friend. She is the reason we are here in Massachusetts, and we're going to be doodling, and I've got views of frozen ponds and red barns and trees and hills and some thawing snow. So yay. Seaside town in England, Brighton, I think you said last week, Zimbira. Yay. Lorna from Scotland, welcome. Where in Scotland are you? I love Scotland. And how warm or cold is it there? Has spring ventured to that side of the world yet? So yeah, we're going to be doing our Zen doodling with the letter D. The letter D today. And so if this is your first time joining for one of our alphabet themed Zen doodle sessions, then we use the letters as our kind of focus for our appreciation, what we're grateful for, what we're intending, what we're reflecting on, what we're processing. So words that start with D that come up for you during your doodle session, just to contemplate and bring awareness to. And a big theme for me personally this week has been just acknowledging what you're feeling, what you're facing, why you're feeling what you're feeling while you're facing what you're facing, and that there is healing and a sense of peace in the sheer acknowledgement of that. So that's the intention with these alphabet-inspired doodle sessions. And then just in general, doodle sessions are like active meditation for you. It is a break from adulting. It is a break from all the shoulds that you have on your list. And it is a means of just creating a little pocket of peace, a little corner of creativity. These things that are very, very healthy and good for you, which we might have been conditioned to believe that are a waste of time, when in fact this is valuable time spent on yourself, on your creativity, and just to flex your peace muscle, just to get used to that feeling of a sense of peace. Practice letting go of the monkey mind and the things that rattle around on a consistent basis. It takes practice, and it takes consistency. And what I personally have found in my doodling journey is that the more I have allowed myself to flex my peace muscle and to flex my creativity muscle, the more I'm able to bring those feelings into the rest of my day, the rest of the things that, call our attention and our energy, and has helped me personally approach it from a more peaceful perspective, approach it from a more unattached perspective, because this practice helps us become an observer, if you like, an observer of our thoughts, an observer of our reactions. So that's a great, in my opinion, is a great muscle to flex. So I hope that, yeah, you're ready for a little session that brings some peace, taps into creativity, and is just, yeah, chill, a little chill session. You're in Glasgow. It's actually really lovely weather there. Fantastic. I've never been to Glasgow. I hear it is beautiful. Just, I think Scotland in general is beautiful from what I have seen. I've only ever been to Edinburgh. So, yeah. Glad to have you here, Lorna. Thank you. Okay. What we do during these sessions to start off with, I also have a card deck, and I just draw a card to have a little additional intentional focus, maybe perhaps a reminder of things that are good for us, concepts to contemplate. So we'll take a look at what card we draw today as our little reminder and as our start to the session. Got cat hair everywhere. This is Pogue. She is sitting next to me on the chair, so she's joining in on the doodle session. So while I shuffle the cards, get all of your drawing paraphernalia, whether it is analog, paper, markers, pencils, pens, whatever you feel called to create with, or whether it is a digital format, your iPad or tablet and pen. All of it is valid. Then one isn't better than the other. It is just purely preference. My preference is the using the iPad and doing it digitally, but it doesn't mean that that's what you need to do. If you feel called to use paper and pen, by all means, go ahead. Okay, so today's card, miracles. There you go. Miracles. And it says, life is full of miracles, prayers being answered and hearts being opened. I have faith that my miracle is just around the corner. I love that. Life is full of miracles, prayers being answered and hearts being opened. I have faith that my miracle is just around the corner. Isn't that just a lovely reminder? Every day we can just choose to believe that a miracle is just around the corner. So, little reminder for you today, if you needed to hear that. I hope it landed for you. And so, if you are ready with your pen and paper or tablet, then we can start our doodle session. As I said, my setup here, I'm not in my normal surroundings, and so my setup, and then of course the software needed to do an update this morning, and so that threw everything out of whack. So apologies if things don't go as smoothly, as intended, but they are as they are. So hopefully you can see that okay. So this is where I'm drawing today. And we're going to start with a little breathing exercise. And today's breathing exercise will go to an oldie but a goodie, grabbing your pen or pencil. And this is on a sheet of paper that is different to the one that you're going to be doing today's doodle session on. And for every in-breath, we're just going to do this for about 10 breaths. I hope this is the right way because it looks a bit backwards on my screen. Please let me know. Like, can you see gallery over there, or is that backwards? Just so that I have a frame of reference. Like I said, the software needed an update. You can read that. It says gallery. Okay, great. It's just backwards for me then. Okay. So, thank you, everybody. So, for every in-breath, let's get our pen going. There we go. For every in-breath, we're going to do a line up. And then at the top, hold your breath, circle your pen, and on the exhalation, bring your pen down. And at the bottom of your breath, pause, circle your pen round. exhale. Just to center us. And exhale. And exhale. Inhale. And you can continue until you reach the edge of the page. And there we go. Right. Now, oh, that's interesting. Okay, my laptop and my computer, my laptop and my tablet are doing interesting things. Okay, so now grab your fresh sheet of paper, and today we are going to be doing the letter D. I'll show you an example. This is one that I made earlier, and you'll see that we do divide it into different sections, and if you are new here, then you will see, that's interesting. No. I can't change my screen for some reason because my laptop and my iPad are doing things. Okay, it's just what it is. We will just have to leave it like that. So what you'll see, in this D, we've got different sections, and how we determine which sections we have is by use of my favorite little tool, the wheel. Now I use this wheel for everything, even down to what I do in my Pomodoro breaks. And so here we've got a spinner, and we're going to spin this to see how many sections in our D we're going to have. 7, my goodness. Okay, that's the max number. So we're going to have 7 different doodle designs. And so what I'd like for you to do on your piece of paper, you can decide whether you want to have your paper vertically or horizontally. It's all up to you, completely up to you. And you're going to draw, and you can choose whether you want to do the outline of the D in a pencil, in a thick pen, in a thin pen, completely your choice. But you're going to draw yourself a D such that we can fill the interior of the D with our doodle designs. So draw that however you would like it to be. This is very much your doodle session. So if you feel called to veer off track from what I'm saying, by all means go ahead and do that. If you don't resonate with what the wheel says we're going to do, please go ahead and do your own thing. I'm following what the wheel says, so I'm going to divide up my D into 7 different sections. Now I often get this wrong, drawing too many lines, but we'll go as we please. So we're going to start drawing some sections. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got to do 7. 4, 7. Okay, so there's my 7 different sections. go ahead and draw your 7 sections or however many sections you want to do. And then we're going to have a different doodle design in each of these sections. Now bear in mind, if you have a thinner pen, if you're using a thinner pen, your designs will generally be more detailed, your patterns will be more detailed. If you have a thicker pen, there will be less detail and you will finish it more quickly. A thing about, a point I want to make about the speed is that take your time, do what feels right for you. If I'm taking longer than you are, then that's fine. Sit back, relax, enjoy the music, maybe go get something to drink, or start filling in the next section, whatever feels right for you. This is your session. I'm merely here as a guide, as a demonstrator, to just demonstrate. And if you're just here for the music, that's also great, because I find watching other people draw very mesmerizing as well. So it's not a race, and feel free to invest your time however feels right for you. So let us see then what are the designs that we're going to do. Now the way that we choose this is I have a reference sheet, and so we've got column B. The wheel is telling us we're going to do column B, and then row 16. Now if you are wanting to get your hands on this reference sheet, let me just get it here. I believe it is here. Now I'm not going to be able to find it. Where's my reference sheet? My reference sheet has disappeared. Sorry guys, I should have had this beforehand, and I say this every time. No. Okay, I'll have to pull it in from elsewhere. No. I had a bigger organizing session, and clearly I've over-organized. So let me just pull it in from here. And we will get it here. There we go. Okay, so you can get your hands on this reference sheet if you would like it. There's a link in my teacher profile, and and then you've got this as a reference going forward. So it was column B, and I believe 16, was that correct? Yes, B16. Okay, so that's these kind of wavy, so column B and row 16. So it's kind of a wavy design, and then with a thickening in certain random sections of the wavy designs. I really like these liney kind of doodle designs, patterns, because they feel very organic to me, and this kind of looks like a sand dune or a wave or a ripple. So we're going to decide which of our sections we want to fill this pattern with. So I think I'm going to start with this one over here. So it's just simply a case of drawing random wavy lines, and they kind of follow each other, but they don't necessarily have to, and you can vary the space between them. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's a big practice of this, is kind of letting go of any ideas of things being perfect. They can absolutely be messy and imperfect, and you can adjust as you go along. And then there's certain sections of each of the lines that we are going to thicken We're just going to go over it. And part of this practice is about being aware not only of what thoughts pop up, but also of your body, your hand, your posture. All of this is a practice in awareness and mindfulness. And then start to think about, what does this D represent for you? What's coming up? What are some things that you're grateful for? Let's start with D. What are some things that are just top of mind right now that start with D? Maybe you're processing, reflecting on. And then you can write those down, either on the back of your page or next to it. So I start to, as they come up for me. So, an obvious one, doodling. I'm grateful for doodling. I'm grateful for drawing. And I, in particular, am grateful for digital drawing, digital art. It really resonates for me. Kind of looks like zebra stripes as well. Ooh, I like what you're bringing in here. This is so cool. What kind of tablet and program is this? Megan, this is an iPad Pro, and it is Procreate. The app that I'm using, the drawing program that I'm using, is Procreate. But you can use it, you can draw on any kind of tablet, and there are many drawing apps. Procreate just happens to be one of the more popular ones. Let's see your words. Divine. My son, Dominic. Yay. And your dog, Melissa. I love that. Trish, development. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So good. So good. I love that we can inspire each other with our Ds, with our suggestions. Design. Love design. Did anybody see the lunar eclipse last night? We woke up specifically to see it. Or specifically, accidentally. It was quite interesting. Okay. And if you feel called to, you can smooth out or add additional lines if you feel like there's a gap that's just a little bit too big. to breathe. Notice how you are holding your pen. Loosen your grip if you need to. Okay. I think I'll do one more. Lovely. All right. Trish, you went outside but too cloudy. Did appreciate being out in the crisp air for a couple of minutes. Yes. Yeah. There is something very interesting, very soothing. Where we are currently, that there's a red barn that I'm looking at over the top of my laptop in that direction there. And there are chickens there. And I have to go out and collect the eggs and feed them, water them. And it's just, yeah, there's something very soothing about being out in the country air as somebody who lives in the city. Charlotte, you stayed up with your 14-year-old. He took beautiful pictures of the lunar eclipse, especially while in total eclipse with its beautiful copper color. A fun bonding time with my teenager. Beautiful. Love that. Yeah, that was quite spectacular. Quite spectacular. All right, let's move on to the next design, the next pattern. I'm going to put design here. That's one of my things that I'm grateful for. Let's see what the wheel says. Row 12, column A. Okay. Row 12, column A. So we've got A, row 12. Okay. So these are kind of petal shapes. And they've got a central line in the middle and then a dot. So decide where you want to have that. And although there is some symmetry here, you could, if you wanted to, do the symmetry. I feel called to make it a little bit less symmetrical, but you do what feels good for you. The starting point for this is drawing lines, curved lines, and we're going to be filling in these gaps that we create with these petal leaves. So decide for yourself. Okay, and then each of these shapes we're going to fill with these petals. And starting from the center of the gap and creating the petal shapes. Turn your page if you need to, so that you have optimal comfort and position for your hand. Feather, hi. Merry Miracle Morning, yay. Did you see our card Or did you just say that by accident? Where is it? Here. Miracles. That's our card for today. I definitely believe miracles are on their way. Yay! I live in Oregon. Yes, I experienced the lunar eclipse through ceremony. Fantastic. Truly magical. With incredible energy transmission. I was so grateful. It was mostly clear. That's rare. Beautiful. What a gift. Absolutely. It felt really significant. Very significant. I don't know if I've ever seen a full lunar eclipse. Notice your posture. Move your body if you need to. This is a dynamic and awareness practice. Listen to your body if it needs to move. If your hand needs to loosen on your pen. Take a deep breath. Notice what your other hand is doing while your dominant hand is drawing. Often we forget it. It's still part of us. Still part of this process. Maybe it's holding tight onto something or gripped in a fist. It's the practice of awareness. And at the same time, just letting go. I do love the peace that comes with this practice. I've also noticed my comfort with silence the more I've done this doodling. I used to fill my environment with so much noise, auditory and mental. Okay, and once you fill the spaces, you can either repeat the pattern or then do as we have over here, where you've got the leaves coming out from the edges and they will meet. Of course, you can also do whatever feels good to you. There's no right or wrong. And it's not about the end result at all. It's just this practice of slowing down, Being aware, creating something with our hands, to be reminded that we are all, in fact, creators. Even if you don't consider yourself, you don't resonate with the label of artist, you are a creator nonetheless. And that's empowering. And you are more than welcome to make it up as you go along. So I'm just filling the gaps with rows of leaves. Very much making it up as I go along. Oftentimes we think we must know exactly what we're doing before we attempt anything. And this practice helps us realize that, well, we can also just trust. Marianne, is that an iPad with some kind of drawing app? Yes, it is Procreate. Procreate is the drawing app that I'm using. There are many, I believe Adobe, if you don't have iPad, but you have other Android tablets, Adobe has a Fresco, I think it's called. I stand to be corrected. If you have an iPad, Freeform is a free drawing type of app. But Procreate, I think, is only $10. And it's a very robust app, in my experience. Daydreaming, the power of daydreaming, and also it almost feels indulgent to allow yourself to daydream these days. So I'm going to put that down as one of my D's. I think I've been doing a lot of that lately, being out here in the countryside, daydreaming of the day that I live on a farm like this or in a forest setting. daydreaming being so natural for all of us. We generally are able to daydream when we give ourselves permission to, and that's a crucial ingredient in creativity. When last did you allow yourself to daydream? Yeah. And if you haven't already, then you can start to do the central line and the dot detail. I'm going to go on a thinner pen for this. Some of my petals are quite small. And just go around filling the detail within each petal or leaf. Oftentimes we don't complete these doodles in their entirety in the session, so the invitation is to come back to it afterwards, or when you have another pocket of time and space to come and complete it. And that might mean filling in the detail, completing a pattern. Maybe it's filling in all the negative space. Divinely daydreaming with darling dandelions. Yes! Oh, I love that, Feather. We are indeed. We are doodling while we daydream with darling dandelions. Love it. Yeah, put a smile on my face. Thank you. Move your body if you need to. Check in. If there's any parts of your anatomy going numb, get some blood flow there. Okay. I think in the interest of time, I will move on to the next design, but I'll come back after the fact and fill in the details of the leaves interspersed with our little flower designs. So let's see which pattern we do next. So column B, row 16. Okay. Column B, row 6. Oh, we had that one already. Okay, I'm going to move on to a different one if you don't object. Row 1. So we'll do column B, row 1. Column B, row 1. So these tropical looking leaves. There we go. Can you see that? We're doing these here. So there's the central leaf design, the main leaf design, and then in the background we've got the vertical lines. So choosing which space you're going to do this design, you can go ahead and do a thicker pen for the outline. And then there's a border aspect, and then a central vein, and then we do the diagonal veins of the leaf, and then we rinse and repeat. And they kind of overlap a bit, so they could be different sizes. Them in different directions. These look like banana leaves. Your OCD is struggling with that. The pattern goes across the section from side to side. Follows one after the other like footsteps, and not doesn't follow after the like footsteps. Yes, oftentimes OCD is all about control, right? So that's also a great practice here, is letting go of that control and embracing the messiness. And the randomness. Nature is often not symmetrical, often random. I'm doing mine like a pile of leaves blown onto the floor. And it's okay to notice that discomfort as well. That's such a great, in fact, that's something to reflect on. That's with a D. Thank you, Lisa, for bringing that up. Discomfort. I'm going to write that down. Such a valuable tool to notice the discomfort and inquire about why is there discomfort. Not necessarily finding the answer, but at least noticing that it's there and posing the question. Maybe the answer comes. Discomfort's so good. And you know that there's something that needs your attention or is requesting your attention. And when you notice it, you can decide what to do with it. Is it something that will lead to growth if you embrace it, or is it something that is seeking to preserve, keep you safe? Or is it just the old part of our brain wanting to keep us doing the things we've always done because change is scary? The familiar is predictable. So our brain is actually hardwired to keep us in comfort because we know what to expect. It's predictable. So how much do we flex our discomfort muscle? I feel like I don't flex it nearly as much as I should. Or at least as much as I would like to. I'd like to be that person who is adventurous, tries new things, gives it a go. But that takes embracing that discomfort. CJ, delight and desire. Yes, desire, another great indicator to us. Desire, what do you want? Giving yourself permission to want it, whatever it is. Understanding the root of the desire. Oftentimes that's an interesting conversation to have with yourself. Why do you want that thing? Because sometimes we desire things that are not necessarily good for us. So having the awareness of why do we desire the thing is important. Dream, decide, dare, and dare to dream, dazzling, daydream, and decoration. Yes. I love it. It's like poetry. Thank you, Reagan. That's beautiful. There we go. Okay, and then if you've got any spaces in the background of your leaves, then we fill that negative space with, you can decide if you want to do it vertical or horizontal lines, just to fill the space in between the leaves. And I tend to keep it all in the same direction for the background sections. But you can do as you please, of course. I think that's a Star Wars quote. Do what you feel is right, of course. Wise words. Obi-Wan Kenobi. My husband would be proud. There you go. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Melissa, dancing. Yes. Oh my goodness. Dancing for, oh, so good. Reconnecting with our body. Being in the moment. Brilliant. Okay, let's see our next design. Row 1 and column. Can't be B, we've just done that. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do a new column. That's our second repetition. No, new one. Okay, A. Okay, flowers is definitely a theme today apparently. So like these daisies, also appropriate for our D's today. Oh, and we've got a ladybug. Can you see? A ladybug coming to join us in our doodle session. That has to be a good thing. Okay, so our daisies. So you can decide how you want to have them here. I'm actually going to use the roundness just because I feel inspired to of this inner portion of the D, and just start my daisy here. And then for each of the petals of our daisies, it's just a singular line in the middle. And then you can keep it random or symmetrical, completely up to you. Or make it up as you go along, which is how I tend to approach it. And then do your, I'm gonna let those petals go behind the previous one. Add a little ladybug on the daisy. Yes, I think so. Definitely. Little ladybug. Okay. Try another one this side. Checking my posture. Okay. I see the sunshine is coming onto my iPad here. Sorry if that is blowing the highlights or obscuring your view. It is lovely to have sunshine, so I'm not going to wish it away. Daylight. There's another D. Okay, and I think I'll do one more. It's going to be behind these existing ones. Be a big one. Mine is a mishmash of daisies. There we go. Okay. That's what my D is looking like so far. After the fact, I'll probably go in and fill in the negative space. But gonna move on. Right. Bev, am I South African or originally from there? I did grow up in South Africa, yes. Well caught. I did grow up in South Africa. I grew up in Joburg, but then lived in Cape Town for the last 12 years before moving to the States. Are you from there? Okay, let's see our next design. Column C. Row 2. Column C. Row 2. Ooh, we got some bubbles. That's a happy little design. So choose where you want this one to be, and it is super easy, super fun, just to draw bubbles of varying sizes. Something very soothing about this. I believe there are instances when people find looking at circles like this uncomfortable. I can't say that I experienced that, so if that is you, I apologize. You don't have to do this if it's uncomfortable, but maybe it's also an opportunity to lean into discomfort, flex that discomfort muscle. And I try to just randomize the sizes. It's interesting, I often find that there lands up being a pattern by accident, that my brain just wants to keep things ordered. So I try as much as possible to keep it random, just because that's my preference, but you don't have to do that. You can keep them in a coherent pattern if you choose. I'm clearly not doing them perfectly round, which is okay. Bubbles also stretch and squish. And even if they didn't, it's totally fine. We're not aiming for perfection. Trish, my family's from Germiston. Oh my goodness. I grew up in Alberton, so that's just down the road. Small world. Such a small world. And babe, you recognize my accent, and you're from Cape Town. Awesome. Yeah, Cape Town is gorgeous. Gorgeous. Do miss it. So good to connect with some South Africans. I apologize that my hand is in sun. Let me try and close the blind a bit. Don't know if that will help. I don't know where it's coming from. Oh, there we go. There we go. Remember to breathe, notice your breath. I do these doodle sessions at the library, the local library in Arlington, Virginia. And we did our D session there a couple weeks ago. And somebody else had a lovely D. Diversity. I thought that was such a lovely D to be mindful of, to be grateful for. Diversity, that we're all different. Now more than ever, obviously. I suppose there's always times where it feels more relevant and important, significant. Embrace diversity. Celebrate diversity. One of the things I love about the digital doodling as well is going back and seeing, specifically in Procreate, the app records a video of the drawing process, and so I love to go back. I find it very mesmerizing to see, especially designs like this where there's a lot of intricate detail, and just to see the drawing come to fruition, unfolding on the page, and it's fascinating. I feel like if we had one of those replays of our lives, we'd probably pay more attention, notice more, like the order in which we do things and how one thing led to another. Gonna do some big ones here. Oh, I'm sorry, I was in the way. Didn't realize my head was in the way. Good thing I checked my posture. Discovery. Yes, I love that, Reagan. Ooh, declutter. Detach and declutter. I love that. Florgy, that's wonderful. Good ones. Been doing a lot of decluttering lately. That's such a good one. I need to put that one down. Declutter and detachment. Great. Depending on how big your pen is and how big your bubbles are, you might be finished with this one already. We've got 2 more patterns to go. Discovery, good one. Yeah, discovering new techniques, discovering new things about ourselves, discovering new information, recipes. Part of the adventure, discovering new things. Discovering what we're capable of when we get out of our comfort zones, embracing discomfort. Okay, nearing the end of this pattern, going on to the penultimate. Hopefully you're kind of at the same location. I love how that comes out. That's, for me, that's very pleasing. Something so simple. Okay, let's see, penultimate pattern. Row 16, column, better not be B, A. Row 16A. Okay, we're doing like cobbled stones, cobbled road. Very organic. Matches our bubbles quite nicely. So choosing your section of your D where you're going to do it, and it's just random shapes that bump up against each other, and the coming together of this pattern is in the filling of the grout, if you like, in between. So slightly, very similar to the bubbles, but more irregular shapes as opposed to mostly round. So just let your pen loose on the page. Great release, detachment, great word, great detachment from control. Just let your pen move without the need to control it. And aiming for a kind of randomness. Again, detachment from control of how it should look, how your brain thinks it should look. And try to keep the shapes random so that they don't all start to look the same size or shape. Life is random, and our little brains like predictability. So we can just show something like this. This is showing our brain that, well, not all randomness is scary. Sometimes that's where creativity resides. It's That's where freedom resides. Discovery. It's okay if it's messy. You're going to go in and fill in the grout, so you'll have the opportunity to tidy up if you really have to. Otherwise you keep it messy and random. Alright, it's a fairly quick one. And step 2 of this pattern would be going in and filling the grout. As we are approaching the end of the session, I'll continue with the final pattern so that we have it. And as mentioned before, the invitation is then to come back to this and complete it when you feel called to. So column C, row 17. Column C, row 17. So it's this one here. This is our final pattern. Looks complicated, but it really isn't. And you can decide if you want to have they kind of look like baubles or bunches of hay or something. You can decide whether you want to have them in straight lines or if you want to have them curved. I think given the nature of this pattern, I'll probably go a bit curvy. So I like to have a series of curved lines first and then make marks along these lines. These will be the kind of gathering points, and then we'll go with our baubles joining from one dot to the other. I do 3, but you can do as you see fit. Okay, so then you can see that the pattern's starting to take shape. And then you can go across so in the opposite direction. You can then join one central section to the other. So repeating what we've done and just filling in horizontally. And I'm going to make out like there's one there and one there. Okay. You can keep going if you want to, or you can fill in these gaps with a similar shape, just joining in the middle. Completely up to you, or you can fill them in with solid background colors. You can experiment with what feels right for you. And there you go. That is that is my completed D for now. And the invitation is to complete any sections, fill in the negative spaces. You can color it in if you want to. That's pretty good timing, 1.5 hours, almost on the dot. So yeah, that is pretty good. I'm gonna see if I can now. Can I? No, I can't. I don't know how to take back control of my laptop. All this to say, let's see, will this let me? That brings our session to an end. No, it just wants to. My laptop is controlling my iPad for some reason, and I don't know how to stop that. So I can't change the camera, sorry. You'll have to just look at my hand while I do that. But if you want to get the replay of this video, you can get it over on YouTube if you want to follow along in your own time. If you want to share your design once you've completed it, the link is in my teacher profile as well. If you want to get your own reference sheet for the patterns, that's also over in my teacher profile. You'll see that it opens up a Linktree link and access to all of these things. And otherwise, we will be doing our next doodle session, same time, same day, next week, Friday. And that will be our alternating week. So it won't be alphabet, it'll just be our Zen Doodle design. And I'll be back in my own space, so hopefully all the tech will work properly as it should. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate your engagement and joining in on the fun and the doodling. Please do give me feedback as well if there's any way that I can improve or make this a more calming, expressive session for you, that you get more benefit out of it. Please let me know, send me a message, and otherwise I will see you next week. Thank you so much. Bye. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Oh, I can't even end the session. That's interesting. I'm going to turn that off. There we go. Let's see if that works. There we go. Hurrah. That's what I should have done all along. Okay, there we go. Bye, everyone. See you next week.